here. And why are we liberals? We're liberals because when we were walking in here, we were in front of the escarpment, the Niagara Escarpment. We're on the Greenbelt. We're in one of the nicest parts of southwestern Ontario. One of the nicest parts of the world. And we're liberals because we care about the environment. We acknowledge that science and the facts and the evidence and the research that says we gotta stand up and do something. We gotta change our ways a little bit. We gotta listen to experts and the research and the facts and the evidence and move forward together. That's why we're choosing forward, right? Well, over 10 years ago, I got to walk into the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games in Beijing, China, carrying our flag for Team Canada. And I'll tell you, as I was walking in to the Bird's Nest Stadium, I looked out into the audience, the parade of athletes, and I saw a lot of countries and a lot of athletes from different countries. And somebody behind me on Team Canada, there's 300 of my sporting heroes behind me. I was marching in with them. And as I marched in, I heard one of them start singing "O Canada," so I started waving the flag and turning around. And I saw all the countries as I was turning around. The parade of athletes was in front of me, and as I turned around and faced Team Canada, I didn't see a country that looked like one country. I saw a country that looks like the world. And Milton is a town that looks like the world, and Halton is a region that looks like the world. And Ontario is a province that looks like the world, and that's what we stand for as liberals, because we know that diversity is our strength in Canada. As a first-generation Canadian, my mom Beata is right here. As a first-generation Canadian, we acknowledge that a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. There's no difference between any of us. We also know that Canadians are born every day all around the world in every country, and they just don't know they're Canadians yet, but one day they will be. Got a lot of space and a lot to share. Everybody, I've got a really special surprise. We're going to sing our favorite song together, and a really good friend of mine came along to share this. Has anybody ever heard of the Bare Naked Ladies? I brought my friend Ed Robertson from the Bare Naked Ladies!
I'm thinking, hey everybody, how are you? What an absolute pleasure it is to see this many people engaged with their community, engaged with their country, and engaged with my good friend Adam Vancouver. You thought the Prime Minister was handsome. All right, we're going to sing the anthem together. Can we do that? Yeah! Here we go. I hope I don't screw up the works. I sing one part in French, but it's not the part that everybody usually sings in French. So sing whatever you're comfortable with. It's your anthem. It's not anybody else's anthem. Right? Sing what you want. Here we go. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all life's last command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free, from far
We can be the love, gonna teach them how. Coming on the top, unless they fight back. We can go out if you want to. We can run for miles. There's no turning back, so raise it high. We can hold one hand for tomorrow. We can hold one hand till we start. Just don't give up on now. We can hold one hand. Change your life. It'll 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 change your life.
Hello, Milton! Oh, wow, what a crowd, what a room. How about another amazing round of applause for Ed Robertson? And what to say about Adam? I have known Adam Van Koeverden for over 15 years now, and I've never met anyone so hardworking, so focused, and so determined to be the great MP for Milton that Milton deserves. Thank you, Adam, for stepping up, but thank you all for stepping up, for the conversations you've led over the past weeks and months, for the doors you've knocked on, for the conviction you've shown that every day we can fight for a better Canada and we can choose to move forward. And I can't help but think, as we approach the end of this election campaign, think back to 2015 and the choice Canadians made then to close the book on the Harper decade, a decade of underinvestment in Canadians and in their communities, of nothing done on climate change, of a withdrawal of defense of women's rights, of LGBT rights, and instead we chose to move forward in 2015. Canadians stepped up, came together, and picked a government that would focus on investing in them, on fighting climate change, on restoring Canada's place in the world. And over the past 4 years, that's exactly what we did. What it meant was that through investing in families, investing in things like lowering taxes for the middle class by asking the wealthiest 1% to do a little more, by delivering a Canada Child benefit that helps 9 out of 10 Canadian families with hundreds of dollars a month, and has lifted 300,000 kids out of poverty. The choices we made over the past 4 years worked. Not only did we see the lowest unemployment in 40 years and the creation of 1 million new jobs, most of them full-time, we also lifted 900,000 Canadians out of poverty. That approach of choosing investment in infrastructure, investment in our communities, investments in building a stronger future for all Canadians is why we have a strong and growing economy and are helping millions of Canadians right across the country. But the truth is, for all we've done, we're just getting started, and that's why this election is so important. You see, the Conservatives have put forward Exactly the same plan that Stephen Harper failed at for 10 years. Although you gotta give them credit, this may be the first time on record that the Conservatives decided to recycle something. But no. Andrew Scheer kept his platform hidden for the first stretch of the campaign, didn't release it until late in the game, after the debates, indeed on a Friday night of a long weekend. And why did he do that? Well, he did that because there's nothing for Canadians in that platform but cuts, cuts, cuts. $53 billion worth of cuts. That's actually 4 times as much in cuts as Doug Ford is currently inflicting on Ontario. I think people in Milton and indeed right across the province, right across the country, understand that now is not the time to double down on Conservative cuts. And the other thing, the only other thing Mr. Scheer is offering, other than cuts and a couple of tax breaks for the wealthiest, because that's just what Conservatives do, is to rip up the only real plan to fight climate change that Canada has ever had. Il faut vraiment vouloir de regarder cette crise mondiale auquel on est en train de faire face, et de décider que l'approche qui fonctionnerait pour le Canada, ce serait de mettre à la poubelle le seul vrai plan qu'on ait jamais eu pour lutter contre les changements climatiques. Non, c'est pas comme ça que ça va se passer. And that's why this election is so important. This election is so important because we are facing a choice that is not just about the next 4 years, it's about the next 40 years. Will we keep supporting families? Will we keep making life more affordable? Will we lead in the fight against climate change, or will we go backwards? I know what Milton wants to choose. And that's exactly the plan we have. We've made the decision to even do more to invest in Canadians. And that's why we need a progressive government to lead in the fight against climate change and to make life more affordable for everyone. On a besoin de se rassembler d'un bout à l'autre de ce pays pour empêcher ces conservateurs qui ne nous représentent pas, qui ne nous comprennent pas dans nos valeurs, dans notre approche, dans notre désir de protéger les droits des femmes, de lutter contre les changements climatiques, de bâtir un monde toujours meilleur en créant de la croissance, en investissant dans nos communautés, dans nos gens. Ça prend des Québécois, ça prend des Canadiens progressistes dans l'action, pas dans l'opposition. I know that Canadians understand how important it is to continue with a government that is progressive, not just an opposition that is progressive. To be quite honest, I was part of a very progressive opposition that watched Stephen Harper do nothing on climate change and actually pull us out of Kyoto, that watched Stephen Harper cut our military, cut services for our veterans, cut public safety by cutting border security, loosening gun control. These are the things that a strong opposition couldn't stop. What we need is a strong Liberal government. We use that word progressive, a progressive government. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what that means. That means when we see a senior who's lost her partner of 50 years, who's mourning it, who's trying to figure out what her life's going to be, and realizes that on top of all the challenges she's facing, she just saw her pension benefits cut because she lost her husband's pension. Well, we're going to help her out. That's what a progressive government does. A progressive government is one that understands how important it is for students to be able to get that post-secondary education they need. Which is why we're further increasing student grants and making sure that you won't have to start paying back your Canada student loan until you're making at least $35,000 a year. That's what a progressive government does. And a progressive government is one that understands that measures like the Canada Child Benefit don't just help out millions of families across the country, thousands upon thousands of families right here in Milton. It creates economic growth for us all. Because more confidence in your future, more confidence in your kids' future, that makes all the difference. And a progressive government, well, we're going to increase the Canada Child Benefit by 15% for kids under 1. Va continuer dans la lutte contre les changements climatiques parce qu'on sait qu'on ne peut pas bâtir une économie plus forte si en même temps on n'est pas en train de protéger l'environnement et lutter contre les changements climatiques. A progressive government understands that you cannot build a strong economy for the future if you are not also fighting climate change and protecting the environment. That's exactly what we did. 4 years ago, Canada had no national plan to fight climate change, and we made sure over the past 4 years that now in every single province it is no longer free to pollute, and we're putting more money back in people's pockets with it. We're banning single-use plastics, phasing out coal-fired plants, brought in a historic oceans protection plan. And when we took office in 2015, there was only 1% of our coasts and oceans that were protected. And we said, we're going to hit 10% by 2020. And actually, we didn't quite do that because it's only 2019 and we've already protected 14%. But we need to do so much more. We need to get to 25% of our land and 25% of our oceans protected by 2025. We need to surpass our 2030 targets and hit net zero by 2050. And we need to plant 2 billion trees. You know, I was talking with one of our MPs, one of our candidates in Markham, Mary Ying, and she was telling me that about a gentleman who told her his story. He voted Conservative last election and pretty much all his life. He's a Conservative. But he said, Mary, this time I'm voting Liberal. And she said, okay, that's great, but why? He said, because this time I gave my vote to my 13-year-old daughter, and she says the environment and my future is too important. So I'm voting Liberal, and I'm choosing. That's the choice we are facing today. It's a choice that's going to echo, and we need to make sure that young Canadians talk to their parents, talk to their friends, get out and vote, and make sure that we stay on this path of fighting climate change, of making life more affordable, of getting guns off our streets, and stopping conservative cuts. We've put forward forward the strongest gun control legislation in Canada's history. We're going to be banning assault weapons and ensuring that cities can ban handguns. And not only are the Conservatives not going to do that, but they're going to reverse some of the stronger regulations we already put in. That's not moving forward. So my friends, over the coming 2 days, we need to keep working incredibly hard. We need to keep reaching out to Canadians and talking about the important choice they're facing. We need to make sure that everyone understands that this election is about our collective future, and the choice couldn't be clearer. Do we step up or do we go backwards? And right here in Adam Van Koeverden's future riding of Milton, I can't help but think of something my father used to tell me and that I've passed on to my son as I'm teaching him how to canoe. You see, my father used to say that when you're crossing that big lake and the clouds roll in, the wind picks up, and the waves start to break over the edge of your canoe, there's only one thing to do. Sing louder and paddle harder. So,